Hello everyone. So, when I arrived to the breach site today, I flew my drone straight over to the new access, and they were digging off the sides. They were tearing them slightly, and that's to reduce the chance of collapse, if you like, so the embankments won't collapse. If it's just a sheer cliff of earth, if you get a lot of heavy rain or anything like that, then there is a chance it will collapse. If it collapsed in onto the road, it would make a bit of a mess. So you can see here they're taking out a little bit from the base here. As you'll see later in the video, they also took out some from the sides. Different bucket on the actual digging bucket this time instead of a grading bucket. I called it a ditching bucket last time. Ditching bucket similar to a grading bucket but with holes in apparently. Let the water out when you're ditching. Of course, this is the 9-ton excavator still from Flannery Hire, Plant Hire. And then there's the track dumper, which will come into shot shortly. Here's the track dumper, arriving from the bottom of the screen. Between that excavator and the track dumper, they've done a tremendous amount of digging now on site. Hopefully they get a bigger excavator on site for the actual breach. That will mean considerably faster works. Thank you very much for everyone who's thanked me, left nice comments, informational comments, and also the super thanks, bought me a coffee, all very, very much appreciated. Just as important as all that is to subscribe to my channel if possible. That really does help me out. Really appreciate you all watching my videos. You can see they're still filling this track dumper up. With the loose spoil. They would have been in a pickle without this track dumper. They had a wheel dumper, well, they've got a wheel dumper at the compound, but if they were using that wheel dumper with the state of the ground, they would have been in hell of a pickle with it. You can see the dumper's now heading off to tip. I think that track dumper has got rubber tracks on. Some of them have steel tracks. I'm not sure about the excavator. Normally, these days, a lot of small excavators have rubber tracks, which means they can travel on tarmac or surfaced areas without making a mess. See the track dumper there reversing up the spoil heap, trying to. then going to tip his body. Hopefully it will all come out. Obviously with tracks over wheels, there's a larger surface area in touch with the earth or with the soil, so the ground pressure is actually less. Obviously the wider the tracks, the less the ground pressure, which means hopefully it will sink in less and have more traction. So there's a considerable amount of soil in the back of that dumper that must be stuck in. It hasn't actually come out when he's tipped. It'll be interesting to see if the excavator does clean that out for him, loosen it up. When he backs round, I presume the excavator will have a bucket full of earth ready to go in. Which he has, putting that in the back, and then yeah, he's cleaning out the dumper, loosening up the spoil or soil that's stuck in. We'll have a flight over to the breach in a moment and see what's going on there. Follow the access track over towards the new compound. There's a couple of people talking there in the by the cabin. And there's a tipper van, looks like a tree surgeon by the lift bridge there. And the body on the back, which they use for chipping wood into it. Normally tow a chipper behind the van and blow it into that body. And then they'll tip, so you can tip the chip out. And we'll have a little look over, see where the tree surgeons are. There's one chap in the foreground there coming up the embankment. Sorry, the footage is a bit jerky there, it's quite windy today. I've had several wind warnings on my drone. Just looking over at the flood water, reduced considerably again overnight. You can see some more workmen, tree surgeons there, setting up. I presume to tackle some of the limbs on those trees. Sorry about this, the footage, I was struggling with the wind. I'll fly over and have a look at the pump. As you can see, the pump inlet is still in the original spot there, the suction pipe. If we have a look at the video a little bit later on, you'll see a bit of a change there. We'll have a little look at the embankment of the breach so we can compare that to the later on video. See if you can see what trees have actually been tackled. The chap coming back down the embankment there. This is all very good preparation work for the work starting on the breach, the digging work. Obviously the trees need to be cleared first, I would imagine. We'll head back over towards the access road to finish this early video off. Next, I've got a picture of the flow meter going into the silt trap, which we'll have a look at in a moment. You can see considerable amount has been pumped, which is getting up towards 5 million litres now. I think they said there was 12, they estimated 12 million litres on the flood site. So if we're nearly at 5 now, another day we should be getting on for halfway. Yeah, I guess it's been pumping for a week or so, maybe a little bit more, but of course they weren't pumping overnight to start with, so that's obviously doubling up the time. That's a close-up of the sediment trap. You can see how red the water is, how brown the water is. How brown it looks in that trap. And then I'll put a little video of the outlet into the drain in a moment, which you'll be able to have a look at and see if you can see the difference, and see how much water is actually going down the drain whilst pumping. Sorry if you can hear coughing in the background, my partner's got quite a bad cough left over. This is the short video of it going down the drain. It looks fairly clean, to be fair. Obviously you don't want a lot of sediment going down the drain because it will silt up that drain. You can see the considerable drop in water here on this later video. Please do subscribe for further updates. Very much so in two parts now. And this further half here, the closest to the breach, is going down rapidly now. You can see the suction pipe has been moved around to the actual breach site where the breach took place, the embankment which is going off towards where the floats are, is going off towards where it's deepest. I would say it's dropped by nearly a metre. It's 2.5 metres, so I would say we're probably getting on for halfway on this part. Another day we'll be there, I would think, halfway. We'll go up and over the breach, have a look what's changed on the far side. Oh yeah, we'll just have a little look if we can see anything tree-wise that's been trimmed whilst we're going over. Can't see a huge difference. It's maybe been thinned out a little bit. Rotate round. A bit of a surprise at the other end, which will be interesting. Follow the new access track round to the embankment to the ring road. You can see the large amount of spoil, very tidily put, on the left hand side there. A few trees have been cut down. obviously the membrane and the geogrid has been brought further down the embankment, and there's a new machine there left with the 9-ton excavator. That new machine is a roller. It's articulated. Rollers, you get 3 main types. You can get a smooth drum, a smooth roll. You can get a sheep's foot or a pad's foot, and I do believe a sheep's foot have smaller raised parts on. You'll see a picture of them close up in a moment, which are higher and they consolidate more. Or a pad's foot have larger pads, if you like, larger raised parts that aren't as deep, and they're used more for kneading the material. They can be used for stickier materials, so you can actually roll clay and things with them. There you go. So I think that is actually a pad's foot. I'm pretty sure that's an articulated machine. I'm pretty sure that will also vibrate. Having a roller that will vibrate greatly increases the compaction. You don't need a hugely heavy weight of roller like my steam roller. Back in those days, they were just dead weights, very, very heavy. My steamroller isn't actually that heavy because it's a tarmac roller. That's something for another video. Of course, the steering's articulated. This was the state of play. As you can see, the embankments have been tiered to try and prevent collapse. Sorry, it was a little bit grainy. It was going dark at the time, so may not be the best picture. We'll zoom right in here. There's a considerable amount more stone been delivered during the day. Hell of a lot more to do yet, but it's going in the right direction. Now they've got a bigger roller. They should progress well with that. You would expect several wagons to be doing trips back and to. Whether that's the case, I'm not 100% sure. I wouldn't say there's been that many loads brought in. And then we'll follow the track back and finish the video with a view over the whole site. I know you all enjoy. From 120 meters up. Hopefully I don't get blown away. It's quite windy today. Thank you very, very much for everyone who has watched and subscribed, and all the thanks and donations, all very much appreciated. As important as all that is to subscribe if you haven't already, like my videos, comment of course. I always try and read the comments and respond to as many as possible. You can see the amount of flood water changing intensely now. If you looked at the start of the week, you'd see a vast difference. We're heading up for the end shot now. It's getting up towards 100 meters. 120 is the limit, of course. That's it. Good progress made today. Hopefully more tomorrow. Do check back. And thank you for watching. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.